Happy New Year, guys. Hope you had a good night celebrating, albeit a bit different than how you would normally spend New Year's Eve. Not quite sure whether celebrating is the right word to use, to be honest. It's been a challenging year, let's say 2020. It's not been great. A lot of people are glad to see the back of it, but I think we've still got challenges heading into 2021. So I think it's important to still bear that in mind when we're looking forward. Usually at this time of year, I'd be setting down some goals for the year, things that I want to achieve, and it'd usually be big things like I want to run a marathon, or I want to improve the number of pull-ups I can do, or I want to go up to the lakes and I want to climb X number of Wainwrights. So those were some of my goals for last year, and with everything that's happened, it didn't really work out like that. And I spent a lot of time being quite hard on myself because it didn't work out, even though it was out of my control. It's not my fault that I couldn't get up to the lakes. So I was thinking about my goals last night for the coming year, and I almost feel like, well, what's the point in setting any goals this year, because with what's happening, we don't know. Well, we basically don't know what's going to happen in future. Gyms are currently shut. Chances are that they're going to remain shut for quite a bit of 2021, so I could set these goals, not end up being able to achieve them, and then feel quite down on myself, feeling like I've failed. So I think we need to still set some goals, but maybe just look at things a little differently. So I think one of the biggest things for me is to not spend as much time on the injury bench this year. I seem to have been injured and unable to train more than I've actually been able to train in 2020, and I think a lot of that is down to me putting too much pressure on myself to do everything. I want to go to CrossFit, I want to train for a marathon, I want to go running, I want to do the weightlifting, and I can't do everything. And I think my biggest issue is mobility, and that normally takes a back seat in favour of going to CrossFit, doing the weightlifting, doing the running. But in the long term, making time for the mobility now will help to achieve better results in CrossFit and better results in weightlifting, and will mean that I'm not going to be injured after a marathon like I was last year. So that's something that I can do regardless of the pandemic. I can completely control how much time I spend on mobility. It's things I can do at home. I don't have to go to a gym for it. So that is within my control. So that's definitely something I'm going to work on this year. I need to do it. So one of my goals is to lose weight. I want to lose about 1 stone. Now, whenever I say that, people just look at me like I'm crazy and, why do you want to lose weight? And it really annoys me, because if that is my goal, that is what I want to do, that is what I feel is a good thing for me, and having somebody question why I want to do something, it just kind of puts doubts in my mind. But I know why I want to do it. carrying a bit of extra body fat. I do a lot of endurance events. If I'm running a marathon, I'm carrying an extra 10 kilos around with me than I want to. You know, I've got to, on a marathon or an ultra, I've got to have my pack anyway. I've got to have 2 litres of water. I've got to have spare kit, first aid kit, waterproofs. The last thing I want to be doing is carrying an extra stone of body weight as well. So that's my biggest reason for wanting to do it. There's obviously other reasons as well. I want to be leaner than I am. But yeah, I think everyone has the reasons for why they have a particular goal, and I just don't believe it's right to question their why. But that's just me. So I've probably had that goal for the last year or so, maybe longer. And why haven't I achieved it? Why did I not achieve it in 2020? I think the biggest issue for me is I try and do too much. So I want to lose weight. How do I do that? So I need to stick to a set amount of calories. I want to go to the gym. I want to go to CrossFit. I want to do weightlifting. I want to train for a marathon. How on earth am I meant to do all that at once? I did that last year. You know, you think, well, doing more is better. And I just burned myself out. I'd be restricting calories. I'd do cardio in the morning, CrossFit in the evening. That'd be fine for 2 or 3 weeks. I'd see really good weight loss. And then I just get to a point where I'm exhausted and I just end up binging. So that's why I've decided this year, you know, or should I say I've accepted this year that I can't do everything. And I think I always knew that. I just want to defy logic and science and do everything. So I think my main focus is obviously the running to train for the event I've currently got booked, and any more that I do manage to get booked. I do need to focus on food intake. I think that's more to make sure that I'm getting the correct nutrients to support my goals. Eating the correct foods for the energy I'm going to need. And I'm still going to do CrossFit, but I think maybe just a couple of times a week rather than trying to go every day and getting really angry with myself if I don't end up being able to go for whatever reason. So that's been a big mindset shift for me. Just accepting that I can't do everything. Something's got to give, and I know ultimately I'll have a lot better results from doing that. So yeah, we'll see where I am at the end of 2021 with that one. See if I manage to do it this year. I also need to have a big clear out at home. I've done a lot of work at home over the last 12 months, probably 18 months to be honest. And when I'm clearing rooms for a rewire and new central heating system and for rooms to be plastered, it's become apparent that I've got quite a lot of stuff I don't need. So now I've got an empty lounge and dining room, but everywhere else is just chocker with boxes and clutter. So yeah, that's going to be one of my goals for 2021, to start getting rid of all the clutter, decide what things I do need and what, you know, I don't really need. I've got kids games though which they've not played for years, but I don't want to get rid of them. So again, the way I'll approach that is maybe every week or once a month, just tackle a room at a time, or things are in boxes at the minute, so I'll just do 1 box a week, 1 box a month, as long as it gets done. That's the main thing. What the worst thing to do would be to go all in. Right, I'm going to go and clear out every room in the house now, and then just get fed up halfway through, put all the stuff away again, and it just stays there. If I'm stuck in the house for weeks or months, which we have been for much of 2020, then nothing's going to stop me from doing that, is it? I think another thing I need to look at in 2021 is my use of social media. I spend way too long on there. So not only is it a drain of time which could be spent elsewhere more productively, it's also not good for your mental health as well, because you see things on there which can annoy you and cause you stress, and also you compare yourself to other people on there as well, so that's definitely something I need to look at limiting. I downloaded an app a few days ago on my phone. Yesterday I spent probably about 5 hours on my phone. That's not just on social media, that's on messages and maybe Googling things as well, so it's not that bad. And it's probably worse because I'm off work, and I'm on my own, stuck at home, so you do just scroll on Facebook and Instagram just to pass the time. But yeah, it's not a good use of time and something which I really need to tackle. If there ever was a good thing to come out of the pandemic, I think for me it would be getting to spend time with the kids a lot more. I think during the first lockdown I was working from home, the kids were being homeschooled, so we were in each other's pockets all the time. And don't get me wrong, it was hard work for me to try and work and do that at the same time. But I don't know, normally I would drop the kids off at school, go to work, Grandad would pick the kids up, I'd finish work, collect the kids, go home, do my tea, do any housework I had to do. The kids would go and play on their Xboxes with the friends. So we didn't really spend that much time together as a family, and the kids didn't really spend much time with each other. So it's kind of forced us to have to spend time together. And you know what? It's been brilliant. Going out for hours exercise every day, going for a walk, something which we'd never really done before. And we've actually stopped doing it now, which is quite sad. So that is one of the things I'm going to add to my list of goals for 2021, and that's to make sure I spend quality time with the kids every week, whether it's going out for a walk at the weekends, a family games night. It's so hard when you've got so much going on. The kids are quite happy just sat inside playing on the computer games, and I just let them because I've got washing I need to do, I've got work I need to catch up on, jobs around the house I need to do. But yeah, I think it's made me realise that it's bloody important. So yeah, that's definitely something which I can focus on this year. And again, so I think that's pretty much everything for my goals for next year. Obviously I've got my ultra which is already booked. I would like to fill up my race calendar with other events, because usually at this point I've got an event booked every month. But I think with everything being so uncertain, I've just got to accept that this year just might not be like other years. Focus on something else. As long as you're still focusing on something, keeping yourself and your mind active. So I would definitely recommend you to set yourself some goals, even though they might not be what you would normally do. Just set yourself something just to keep your mind focused, and once you know what those big year-end goals are, we're looking for a couple of long-term goals. So do you want to lose weight? Do you want to retrain in something? Get another job? And then once you know what those long-term big goals are, then you can start to break them down into the smaller ones. And then you just focus on chipping away at those smaller goals, and then ultimately by the end of the year, hopefully you should be at your target of your big goal. That's the plan anyway. So I'm going to leave you there now. One of my goals for today was to do 10,000 steps, and let's have a look what I'm on. So I'm on 8,000 steps now, so it'll probably take me about 2,000 steps to get back home. So that's one of my little goals for the day. The other one was to cross something off my cleaning list, which I did that before I came out. And the other one was to upload a vlog. So hopefully by the time I get home, I can upload this vlog, and then that'll be my tasks for the day done. So I hope that's inspired you to still set some goals for yourself, even though it might not be what you would normally do. I think it's still important. I suppose all that's left to say is Happy New Year. Let's go and smash some goals. See you soon.